This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather and Connie Chung.
Good evening. Connie is off tonight. Police in the nation of Colombia finally got their man, and tonight he is a dead man. Pablo Escobar, the world's most notorious drug thug, was killed in a shootout in Medellin. CBS News correspondent Diana Gonzalez reports on Escobar's bloody life and death.
He was one of the most wanted men in the world. Pablo Escobar was the kingpin of the Medellin cartel, at one time the world's largest exporter of cocaine and one of the richest men in the world. Escobar had been a fugitive for the past 16 months. A 3,000-man police and army force had been after him since his prison escape in July of '92. Today, they shot him down on the rooftop of a house in Medellin where his drug empire was based.
I am pleased that Pablo Escobar is no longer going to be involved in drug trafficking, which so profoundly affected the United States.
Escobar was notorious for killing anyone who posed a threat to his overwhelming power and riches. He was blamed for the 1989 assassination of Luis Carlos Galán, the leading presidential candidate and an outspoken enemy of the cocaine traffickers. That ignited the Colombian government's war against Escobar. After a reign of terror that claimed hundreds of lives, he turned himself into Colombian authorities in 1991. Escobar had been assured he would not be extradited to the U.S. to face drug charges. He was kept in this luxury cell outside Medellin. But when the government decided to move him, he escaped. Just this weekend, his wife and 2 children flew to Germany seeking political asylum. Their plea was rejected and were flown back to Bogota, where they are now under government protection. While Escobar's death is seen as a significant victory, drug enforcement experts admit it will have no effect on the amount of cocaine that continues to pour into the U.S. Diana Gonzalez, CBS News, Miami.
In Florida, this was Shuttle Endeavour's day to rise and shine on a high-stakes mission to repair the Hubble telescope. But even as NASA tries to clean up its image and rise above a string of high-tech failures, there is word of a new federal investigation into corruption inside the space agency. CBS News correspondent Jim Stewart picks up the story.
2, 1.
The countdown went smoothly and the liftoff was flawless. But this morning's shuttle mission launch was the last good news of the day for NASA, which has been informed the FBI is investigating its ranks for fraud.
We understand that there's an investigation underway. We know officially that that's true, but that's as much as we know.
Codenamed Operation Lightning Strike, undercover federal agents reportedly were able to peddle a fake medical device as a legitimate shuttle experiment, bribe a NASA technical manager to certify it was real, and implicate 2 aerospace companies which would have profited from sales generated by its exposure in space.
There are also unconfirmed reports that an active-duty astronaut has been implicated in the investigation, although it is not clear whether he will be charged. Thus far, no one has been indicted as a result of the probe, which ended this summer.
We think that these are serious charges and that we should be responsive to them and try to help in any way that we can to get to the bottom of it.
The investigation apparently targeted NASA's Life Sciences Projects Division, which is responsible for placing many of the experimental packages aboard shuttle missions. NASA analyst John Logsdon says the investigation underscores the agency's vulnerability.
There is big money involved. There are very intimate relationships between NASA, civil service staff, and the support contractors.
As the Shuttle Endeavour's crew prepares to fix the Hubble Space Telescope, U.S. attorneys in Houston will be trying to find out just how intimate that relationship has become, whether NASA has flaws of its own to fix back on Earth. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
A major step forward tonight in cancer research is a discovery that could help identify people most at risk for colon and other cancers way before it's too late. CBS News health correspondent Dr. Bob Arnott reports on a genetic discovery that could be a big lifesaver.
150,000 Americans are diagnosed with colon cancer every year. 60,000 die, making it America's 3rd deadliest cancer. Scientists have identified a gene called MSH2, directly responsible for 1 in 6 cases of colon cancer. Indirectly, maybe even more. Additionally, researchers say the gene is linked to cancers of the ovaries, uterus, and stomach.
Today's revelations are particularly exciting, however, because of their far-reaching consequences for preventive medicine and hold the promise of saving many lives.
The impact of this discovery on America's health may be just around the corner. Researchers are developing a simple blood test to identify the estimated 1 million people who carry the gene, 90% of whom will eventually get colon cancer.
A test such as this will have a significant impact on early detection and should significantly lower the death rate.
Frank Proshuk is slowly recovering from painful colon cancer surgery. While the test is too late for him, it could save the lives of his children and grandchildren who may unknowingly carry the colon cancer gene.
I don't want my children to go through what I just went through.
Today's announcement is a vindication of the government's controversial Human Genome Project, a $3 billion program aimed at unlocking the riddles of human genes. Experts say that today's advance is just the first of many that will revolutionize cancer research and treatment. Dr. Bob Arnott, CBS News, New York.
Straight ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, how the Clinton administration is preparing for a possible confrontation with North Korea. And a special eye on America. Tonight, Mission Impossible. Americans trying to build a case against war criminals in the Balkans.
Here's a great big idea.
Salad shooter.
From Presto, professional salad shooter slicer shredder. Big capacity and power. Special blades to point and slice thick, slice thin, shred, even ripple cut. Right where you want.
Salad shooter.
From Presto.
I need a cold medicine that won't slow me down. My husband's a doctor and recommends Dimetap Extend-Tabs.
Dimetap is one of the least sedating non-prescription antihistamines.
Dimetap stops my cold symptoms without stopping me.
Doctors recommend Dimetap for their families and yours.
Anything you can think of, we've probably shipped one.
No job's really too large or too small.
I'm going to put some foam packaging material in the box.
I want to make sure that all of these areas are protected, so we might double box it. You'd bubble wrap it.
Oh, the bubble.
We put reinforced cardboard on here, tape it up, and ship it out. We'll get your packages there safely and on time.
I'll have to run over it with a forklift to break it. I should have said that.
Big or small, we ship it all for the holidays.
President Clinton has ordered his top military advisors to review U.S. plans for defending South Korea in the event of an attack by North Korea. This comes amid an escalating three-way game of chicken with nuclear weapons the ultimate threat. Correspondent Bill Plant has the latest from the White House.
While the world waits to hear whether North Korea will allow international inspection of its nuclear program, the Clinton administration is looking at ways to prepare for a possible confrontation involving U.S. forces in Korea. In Brussels, the Secretary of State sounded a warning.
If the inspections are not resumed in the relatively near future, it'll be necessary to turn to the United Nations Security Council and to pursue other options.
Officials here say time is running out, but if the International Atomic Energy Agency decides it can no longer certify North Korea's nuclear program as strictly peaceful, the U.S. will definitely seek economic sanctions.
They are most likely to respond if they think that we're really serious than if they think we're trying to buy them off.
But White House sources acknowledge there's a real danger that sanctions might just trigger a warlike response from North Korea. Hence, the new beefed-up military options. They include sending Air Force and Army reinforcements, raising troop alert status, moving an aircraft carrier to the area, and deploying Patriot missile batteries to defend South Korea's capital of Seoul from North Korean Scud missile attacks. But the Clinton administration has been sending mixed signals, dismissing the military options as routine, offering the North trade and aid if it complies, but very tough talk from the president about the consequences of any North Korean attack.
They would pay a price so great that the nation would probably not survive as it is known today.
But today it looked as though Mr. Clinton was trying to have it both ways, allowing planning for military buildup to go forward, but insisting that no military confrontation in Korea is imminent. Bill Plant, CBS News, the White House.
President Clinton's top foreign policy advisors are meeting at the White House tonight on the failed effort to restore some semblance of democracy in Haiti. The current Haitian Prime Minister is also in Washington for crisis talks with exiled President Aristide. And while the Clinton administration is still officially committed to Aristide, correspondent Bob Fall reports his powerful enemies appear to be winning the day.
CBS News has learned that Prime Minister Malval will step down soon.
unless there is what one source calls a major positive development. Privately, Aristide supporters fear the President Aristide will never return to Haiti, largely because of what they say has been a campaign orchestrated by the CIA and the Haitian military, which has portrayed Aristide as unstable and unsavory. Today there is new evidence that what Aristide's supporters called disinformation was flat out wrong. This hospital in Montreal told the Miami Herald it never treated Aristide for psychiatric disorders, even though the CIA told members of Congress that it did.
But if you have a mission to destroy the character of somebody, then you can put the kitchen sink in there and just say it was told to us without even checking that information.
And it wasn't just the phony hospital report. Haiti's military government has also peddled this videotape, which it says proves that Aristide liked to set his opponents on fire, that he was addicted to drugs, and that he kept the diary of a madman. So recently, CBS News returned to Haiti's military headquarters to see firsthand the government's proof.
We asked to see that infamous diary, but the government wouldn't provide even a single page. Officials, though, did give us this list of drugs which they say Aristide was taking and which they say they seized when they took over the presidential palace. But despite our repeated request, officials wouldn't show us any of the drugs.
They did give us a photograph of this painting showing tires which they say Aristide used to set opponents on fire, but there is no proof it ever hung in the presidential palace, as military leaders contend. The lack of evidence did not prevent Senator Jesse Helms from taking the Senate floor to label Aristide a psychopath.
He is a demonstrable killer.
It's an outrage to take a man who was elected by 67% of the people, who represents the hope and spirit and aspirations of the Haitian people, and compare him with a mass murderer.
Recently, anti-Aristide demonstrations have erupted throughout Haiti, encouraged, say critics, by the same military officials who have been paid by the CIA for damning information on Aristide.
In this case, you had much more material gathered by the CIA opposed to Aristide because the people on the payroll, again for the CIA as part of the policy process, were also opposed to Aristide.
In response, the CIA faxed us that it merely provides intelligence, adding, "We have no political agenda, nor do we make policy." But the latest disclosure makes Aristide's supporters wonder if policy is made by the president or by a runaway agency. Bob Fall, CBS News, New York.
Stay here with us for much more of the CBS Evening News, including America's throwaway kids fighting to survive on the nation's meanest streets.
What makes Sunsweet Orange and Lemon Essence Pitted Prunes the perfect snack?
Ooh, these are really good. They taste just like oranges.
I like the lemon.
Doing a lot with prunes nowadays. Sunsweet came up with a real good idea.
Isn't it time you tried Sunsweet?
I try to ignore my sensitive teeth, but they hurt.
Don't ignore your sensitive teeth. Sensodyne helps stop the pain that can make you stop brushing. Could lead even to tooth loss.
Thanks, Sensodyne.
Trust Sensodyne, the dentist's choice for sensitive teeth.
Would we claim the new Norelco razor shaves closer than ever without hundreds of tests to back it up? Say our new Precision Groove helps the Norelco lift and cut system shave closer without proof? No. We wouldn't say it's our closest shave ever without science, sensors, tests. But of all the tests that prove it's closer, the most convincing requires a personal touch. The new Norelco razors, our closest shave ever.
You've never had cereal like this before. It has the enticing aroma and the spice of ground cinnamon, the delicious, savory crunch of rolled oats baked to perfection, the sweetness of brown sugar, a touch of vanilla, and a sprinkling of nutmeg. There's never been cereal like this before. The new Kellogg's Cracklin' Oat Bran, now baked with an even more irresistible recipe. Kellogg's Cracklin' Oat Bran. It's the brand you'll eat for taste alone.
Why has a common prescription drug become so hard to find?
Well, shame on you catches another scam artist at work.
Tomorrow on CBS This Morning.
Medical researchers in California report a big upswing in the number of teenagers taking up cigarette smoking. After declining for 15 years straight, teenage smoking rates suddenly started rising in 1988. The researchers say they cannot prove it, but they blame the ad campaign featuring the cartoon character Joe Camel. The cigarette company insists the Joe Camel campaign does not target the young. Tonight in cities across America, people are turning out to dramatize the plight of young people who are especially vulnerable. They are homeless, and they are desperate. Correspondent Giselle Fernandez has their Christmas time stories.
There are more and more kids out there on the streets.
They need somebody to help them.
Tonight, thousands across the country hope to light up the nation's conscience and spotlight the tragedy of more than 1 million kids living homeless on the streets.
In New York City alone, an estimated 20,000 throwaway kids, as they're often called, struggle to survive the streets every night.
23-year-old Esteban Barber says he's been homeless since he was 13, tossed from one foster home to another to the streets. For 10 years, he's turned to prostitution to buy food and sometimes a room.
So you try and make enough money during the day so you can, what?
Survive. Yeah. I know how they feel. I've been there. Get up.
Krista, homeless since she was 17, tries to revive a teenager, drunk, with no place to go.
There's plenty of kids out here. They need somebody. Somebody to care for them, somebody to love them.
Most major cities do have programs like Covenant House, where some of the lucky kids find refuge.
We have all colors, we have all races, we have all ages. In almost every instance, these kids' homes have disintegrated.
Sister Mary Rose McGady says in a country jaded to the homeless, the Covenant House program does help, but not enough. Each kid arrives with a hard luck story.
I slept in buildings, wherever we could go. Train station, stores.
With the baby.
With the baby.
I would just love to see a major effort in this country to help people learn how to parent. Also, we don't have a youth policy in this country.
Until there is one, critics say, the number of kids on the streets will continue to grow. And tonight, when the lights of the vigils are out, many will be searching for a safe escape from the cold. Giselle Fernandez, CBS News, New York.
Straight ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, encouraging news about the economy and how you can save big bucks on next year's taxes if you act now.
Here's a whole other kind of chip.
Chip Shot.
Presto Chip Shot Potato Chipper. Slices so thin they gotta be crisp. Regular or ripple.
Chip Shot.
Fry them up. Even microwave for a light, no-fat chip. Flavor them the way you like.
Chip Shot.
From Presto.
Why not? Now that he switched to Fix-It-Ant, he can go from morning till night and still eat like that.
Even in the hottest liquids, when other adhesives stop holding, Fix-It-Ant holds stronger and longer. For the strongest, longest hold, Fix-It-Ant and forget it.
The new Accord EX Coupe. There's more horsepower. Handling and comfort are perfectly balanced. It has dual airbags and anti-lock brakes. We've taken it about as far as you can go. The new Accord EX Coupe from Honda.
I was afraid to go to the doctor. I didn't want to hear that I might have an ulcer, but I just couldn't ignore my stomach. And you can imagine how relieved I was when my doctor said Mylanta. He told me it wasn't an ulcer. It was indigestion. And indigestion like mine needed a strong medicine.
Mylanta is strong medicine, strongly recommended. In fact, Mylanta is the antacid doctors recommend most.
My doctor said Mylanta.
Also available in tablets and now gel caps.
I'm Charles Carroll. This week, a little stopover on the River of Life with the writer and fisherman Howell Waynes. Join us this Sunday morning.
A familiar American story was played out again today in Southern California. And again, it began with a man and a gun. The man opened fire with a shotgun in an unemployment office in Oxnard, California, killing 3 people and wounding several others. The gunman fled, killing a police officer along the way. He was finally gunned down by police in nearby Ventura, California. No official word on a motive for the shooting, but witnesses say the gunman appeared to be singling out employees of the unemployment office. In news about the economy, it's been one good report after another, and tonight, here's another. The government says we Americans saw our income rise a strong 0.6% in October, and we increased our spending even more, a good sign for retailers and possibly for the rest of the economy as we head into the holidays. There are, if you want to mark it, 22 days left to shop for Christmas presents, 29 to shop for tax breaks. And once again, this year's CBS News economics correspondent Ray Brady has made a list and checked it twice.
You may not be thinking about these, but Uncle Sam is. Day and night, new tax forms are rolling off presses across the country. Check these forms. A lot of the laws in them change with the new year. Changes that could cost you money. Even though there's less than a month to go, accountants say you can act now to beat the clock.
There's definitely an opportunity to save. You need to do your planning right now to see what you need to pay in 1993 versus 1994.
So, take a look at these. Spouses on business trips. Now they're deductible. Next year, your spouse must be a full-fledged employee on a necessary business trip. Moving to a new job. Now, planning costs and a lot more are deductible. 1994, you write off only costs on moving day. Club dues. Now they're deductible for business expenses. 1994, no more. So pay next year's dues now.
But don't be greedy. Don't go out and pay 5 years of your club dues, because if you get audited, the IRS will bounce the whole thing.
Business meals. Now you can write off 80%. Next year, it will be 50%.
That means eat a lot between now and the end of the year, and pay for it now.
And one more thing, divorce. Getting ready to go before the judge? Don't delay. Do it now. Legally, you'll be single for the entire year, according to tax attorneys. And that could put you in a lower tax bracket. Ray Brady, CBS News, New York.
How do you give low-saturated fat oils like canola a different taste? Add corn oil.
Only Mazzola Right Blend blends the leading corn oil with canola, with 1 gram of saturated fat per serving.
Blend good taste into your healthy cooking with Mazzola Right Blend.
I was worried I needed surgery for my hemorrhoids. I was itching, and the burning was so painful. But my doctor said they weren't serious. I didn't need surgery, and to use Preparation H. She specifically said Preparation H by name. That's what I trust, and that's what I'll use.
Preparation H, trusted by millions to often help relieve the hemorrhoidal symptoms of itching, burning, and painful irritation for hours.
I feel great. I'm glad I trusted Preparation H.
Trust doctor-recommended Preparation H.
You've heard of store cards, gas cards, even car cards. Well, now, hear this. Introducing the new Shell MasterCard from Chemical Bank. Use it to make purchases, and those purchases earn free Shell gasoline. Average drivers could save 10% of their yearly gasoline cost, and there's no annual fee. The Shell MasterCard from Chemical Bank. Call 1-800-FREE-GAS.
Hello.
So, what'd you think of that Bonneville? Did you drive it?
Oh, that SSCI is terrific.
Yeah.
Supercharged, traction control, ABS, dual airbags, leather. What a car.
I told you.
And you were right. It's thousands less than the BMW or the Lexus.
Well?
I'm picking it up tomorrow. I owe you one, pal.
Okay. I'll take a white one.
Day after day, you make those glasses of thick Metamucil disappear. Why not make them all disappear with Fibercon? Doctor-recommended Fibercon gives you the same fiber regularity in tablets.
Easy-to-swallow tablets.
Get doctor-recommended Fibercon.
The viciousness of the war in the Balkans is difficult to comprehend. It's difficult for television to convey. With that as background, the UN court set up to prosecute Balkan war criminals has just completed its first session, and it's already clear that bringing anyone to justice will be very difficult. The court cannot force suspects to appear or try them in absentia, and gathering evidence will be an awesome job. It's a job being done here in the United States by Americans, as David Martin reports in tonight's Eye on America.
What kind of man can do this? No man can kill a child like this.
People who have done this must be punished.
First, the crime must be recorded. The gruesome database for the first war crimes tribunal since Nuremberg.
A mother witnessed
3 of her sons being killed.
Entered into computers by a small band of students and young lawyers, some of them, like Janine Cordero, volunteers.
One of her son's testicles were cut off and placed in the mouth of the other son before they were executed.
Their efforts so puny compared to the unspeakable horrors they record. Date, time, place, names of victims, names of suspects, for crimes whose viciousness bewilders University of Chicago student Dan Bronson.
I can't fathom the reasons, and I can't understand the results. There are no military reasons to rape 13-year-old girls.
Okay, this is the new disposition of warring factions.
Professor Sharif Bassioni, chairman of the UN War Crimes Commission, is assembling this archive of suffering and death with nothing more than a $400,000 private grant and offices donated by DePaul University in Chicago.
One is always reminded of the story of David and Goliath. I think what counts here is the will and the determination to do something. This is a labor of love and commitment.
No one in the world is gathering the evidence that the Institute here is getting.
Summer Hathout volunteered after visiting Croatia last summer.
I think the war in Yugoslavia is basically the worst tragedy in my lifetime.
Starvation, random beatings, crowding in such an inhumane way that people can't sleep.
More than 400 prison camps where conditions may be even worse than we thought.
Camp guard in one of the Bosnian camps who particularly seemed to take delight in sexual sadism, sexual torture.
28-year-old attorney Carson Wetzel may be the world's expert on what sound like Nazi death camps.
There are camps where there have been reports of wide-scale executions. It looks good.
But cases that will stand up in a court of law are hard to build.
We're frustrated by how sketchy some of the information is and by how difficult it is to corroborate a lot of the information.
Only rarely do UN officials come upon an atrocity while the evidence is still fresh.
This is a disgusting war crime. I've spent 30 years in various conflict situations, and I have not seen anything like that which I have just seen in that house.
All too often, the trail is cold.
You've got to get the witnesses while the facts are fresh in their memory. We are now speaking of over 1 million refugees from that area. They will move away, we will lose track of them.
This is the evidence, 40,000 documents. None of it is good enough to convict even one war criminal. But it is an historical record of what happened in Yugoslavia, so that at least no one can forget.
Series of testimonies from the character.
There has to be a historic record made of what's happening. If you have a peace agreement today, which does not provide justice, it will not survive for long.
There certainly is no peace in Yugoslavia and probably never any justice. But in Chicago, there is a record. And that much at least, the men who did these things will never escape. In Chicago, this is David Martin for Eye on America.
And that's part of our world tonight. Coming up tomorrow on CBS This Morning, the latest on the death of Pablo Escobar and what it will mean to the drug world. From our partner Connie Chung and everyone at the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. Thanks for choosing CBS. See you tomorrow. Good night.
Experience CBS News.
This is CBS.